Hello guys, welcome to online web tutor presented by Profotech Solutions team. I am Sanjay. We are learning Laravel Admin Panel Development Beginners tutorial and this is our part number 22. Inside this video session guys, we will discuss about Yajrabox listing for faculties as well as for the students. And also guys, if you are a beginner to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and keep watching our previous video sessions to get the clear concept about Laravel Admin Panel Development Beginners tutorial. So basically guys, in our previous video session we have implemented our Yajrabox listing for the classes and as well as for the faculty types. Now inside this video session we are going to implement about the listing inside these faculties as well as for this list students. So let's start with these faculties. So now this is the route actually we are using, and for that this is the table structure called TBL faculties, and inside our Yajrabox data table we have to put all the columns from this table. Okay, so I'm going to copy this route. Just copy that, go to editor. Inside this editor, if we go to routes.php and web.php file, inside this file, if I suppose search for our routes something called list faculties, so this is the controller we are currently using. So go to your app folder, http folder, inside controllers folder, and inside this controller folder we are using called faculty controller. So open up the file and this is our controller. Inside this controller we are using this method. So I am just removing this echo statement and let's return view, and inside that let's admin dot views dot let's say list faculties. Save this file, copy the name and go to your resources folder. Inside resources folder go to views, admin dot views, and inside this views folder we are going to create that blade file and something list faculties, and this is about blade.php. Finally we have created that file. So for the reference of the code, if I open suppose something called list classes, copy all the codes, close this file first, and let me paste inside this list faculties. This is only for the reference, and let me change something here. So this is about list faculties, and also if I copy this list faculties, pasting it here, go down, what basically this table contains all about the columns, and also list faculties. So about the column of this table, we have to go inside database table, and inside this table we have multiple columns, as we can see that faculty type ID, name, email, designation, and so many up to status. So we are not going to put all these columns to our table structure. We are going to put some of the columns for this table. So what basically those? So we are going to take as IDs, okay, and something let's say faculty type. This is the second column we are going to add something name and the email. So let me add that. This is about faculty name. This is about faculty email. Go to again and phone number and something gender. Okay, so back to editor. This is something phone number. Let's say gender. We are going to add something let's say status, and finally the action button. And also let's add one more column for our faculty image because we are using as a profile photo. So this is about profile photo. Now let's open up our script.blade.php where actually we have coded about the data table code. So this was the file. So scroll down. This is our for the staff types. So if I copy this as code snippet, go at the bottom, and code for list faculties. So let's say list faculties. Inside this file, if I copy this table ID, so copy that, go here, replacing this ID here also. Next we have to change about the route. So here is the route. So list all staff type. This is not, this is about faculties. Inside that, what we have the columns, we have called ID is okay. Next we have called image. So we need to add, let's say that this is about profile photo, and also if I copy here, pasting it here. Go to database table and we have something profile photo. Next we have called our faculty type. So this was faculty type. Next what we have called name and email. So let me add two more columns. This is about name, email and email. What we have next is something phone number and the gender. So let me add two more columns. This is about phone number. Here is something gender and gender. Again go to our HTML file and status and action. So already we have status and action. So total all the columns we have made inside this data table. Now next we have to go and make this route. So if I copy this route, go to web.php file, and if I copy and paste this route, let me replace same thing. Firstly we have to make the name parameter. This is about list all faculties, and let's say that list all faculties, this is the method. And finally let's say that list all faculties. So finally we need to define this method inside this controller. So go to faculty controller and let's say that public function and list all faculties. If I open a controller as for the reference of code, so let's open about I think faculty type we have coded here. So if I copy use data tables, this is the package we need to import to use our data table feature. And finally if I scroll down, this is the code. So if I copy this code, close this file first, and let me scroll here and pasting it here. Now we need to replace our query according to our use. So we are going to use called usedb. Scroll down and let's say that this is all about faculties query. Now next we need to remove that. Let's say db table. Inside this table, what we have the table name is something called TBL faculties. So if I copy this table name, go to editor, and this is our TBL faculties. Next we have what we have to select. We have to select all the data. If I just give an alias name, let's say faculty. So copy this name, pasting it here, faculty dot asterisk. It means that all the data we want to select, and also we want to select about gender dot. If I go to the database table, let me open another table inside next tab, something called TBL genders, because this is the genders with their ID is basically inside this table. Inside this here something called gender ID. This gender ID contains one of the ID like male and the female respectively. So from this table we want this type. So go to editor, so gender.type, and also if I back again, here we have called faculty type ID. This is basically the ID we are storing inside this table called TBL faculty types, and from this table we want this type. So back here, and again we are going to fetch about, let's say faculty, and also let's say type dot type. This is about the alias, and this is about the column name. Next we want to join all the tables. So left join. Inside the first parameter we need to pass about the table name. So what we have called TBL genders. Copy this table name, pasting it here, and let's say that as gender. This is the alias name we have used here. Next we have to pass about the condition of joining. So let's say that gender dot ID is something equal to, let's say faculty. This is the alias name. So if I copy and pasting it here, so faculty type dot, this is about gender ID. So copy this column name and pasting it here. So this is the first join actually we have made with the gender. Next we have to make about call back to our table structure. Next we have to make about the TBL faculty types. So copy this table name, back to editor, and let's say that TBL faculty types, and this is all about alias name. Okay, type dot type. First was our alias name, so copy this type as type, and this is all about type dot ID equal to faculty dot, and I think the column name is faculty type ID. So copy this column name and pasting it here. So finally we have made all the relationship. Next we have to put about, let's say, where condition. So where we want that faculty dot status should be 1. It means that all faculty type must be active first. Now we have made our query to this table structure finally, and now just I'm going to give an alias name. This is about gender, name, and also we need to define here, so let's say type as, let's say, faculty type. This is only about the alias name of these values. Now next we have to pass all these selected value to our server side data table. So scroll here, let's say that faculty's query, pasting it here. Now we have two columns here called action buttons, so here, and finally we need to use get method here. Now faculty's query, what basically it gives an ID, and that ID is something from our TBL faculties table. So if I pasting it here, this is the ID of our TBL faculties, and also we need to replace it here, back here. If I move inside this scripts.blade.php, so this is about ID, profile photo, and something inside this type. What basically this type is, this is our faculty type. So go here, and if I copy this edit column, pasting it here, and we have called type. This basically type contains, let's return, copy this faculties types, and this basically type contains faculty type. Okay, so pasting it here. Next what we have as the custom column name and something name. Finally we have inside name, email, and the phone number. Go to the table, name, email, and the phone number. Finally we have called gender. So again go to a controller. Inside this controller, if I pasting it this here, and let's say that this is about gender. This gender contains about the gender name what we have as the alias name for this gender type. So pasting it here. All we have done now, only the thing that we need to set about this profile photo. So if I copy that, go to controller, and just I'm going to put here, and let's say that this is about profile photo, and this profile photo basically contains about the column of profile photo. So copy this column, pasting it here, but remember this is this returns only the value, not the image tag. So we need to actually return image tag to print or echo our image to our HTML page. So if I cut this value, and let's say that image, this is HTML tag, and inside this src folder I'm going to put this value. So right now this actually column of this table contains no value. So in our upcoming videos guys, we will fix about the profile photo. Right now it contains only the null value, and profile photo column contains the raw HTML. So we need to specify this key inside these raw columns. So let's say that here it is profile photo. So if I save this file, go to our administrator panel, and if I go back, inspect first, let's open up our TBL faculties. So scroll down, and finally we have called TBL faculties. This is our list faculties, and now we got all the data from our table. We have now all the data of our faculty, like image is, so it will be blank for now. This is our faculty type, name, email, phone number, gender, and all about these action buttons. So let me about convert the first letter of this faculty type should be capital, and for the gender. So back to our editor. So inside this faculty type we need to convert about the first letter should be at the capital position. So this is the PHP function called UC first, and also about the gender, cut this and let's say UC first, pasting it here. Save this file, go here, reload this page, and now all we have the data. About these action buttons called edit and delete for all the sections we will cover in our upcoming videos. Now next we have to make for the list students. So if I open list students, copy this route, go to our editor, let me find about list students, and this is something here. This is currently using called, this is the method and student controller. So let me open a student controller. Inside that, this is simple echo, let's return view. Inside this view file, let's admin dot views dot list students. Copy this file name, go to our resources folder. Inside resources folder, inside views folder, let's create that file first. So this is about liststudents.play.php. For the reference of code, if I back to TBL faculties, copy all the code, close this file and pasting it here. Go at the top, and this is about listing students. Copy here, pasting it here. So what basically columns this table basically contains, and also this is all about list students. So for the reference of column, back to our table structure. Inside that we have a table called TBL students. So inside TBL students, what we have several multiple columns inside this table structure. So we want to put only the major columns, something registration number, gender, name, email, roll number, phone number and profile photo. No need to show about the father name, mother name inside that. Actually we will make a view button inside our action button, so that after clicking on view button, anyone can view all the details of the TBL students of particular student. So back to editor, and let's say that this is about registration ID. Next what we have to make our gender. So before gender, let's say that profile photo. This is the profile photo of the student. Next what we have called name, email and phone number is okay. Name, email, phone number and let's say roll number. So this is all about roll number. So back to table structure. So registration number, gender, name, email, roll number, phone numbers, profile photo, all we have done now. These are the columns we are going to show, and finally we have a status and action buttons. So back to our scripts.play.php. If I copy this code snippet, pasting it here, and let me say that this is all about list students. Only we need to change about the route and the ID of table. So I'm going to replace with the ID. So copy this ID, pasting it here, and again I'm going to replace with this ID also. Now next we have to make about the route. This is all about list all students. What we have the columns? We have the columns for ID, and this is not the simple ID. This is about the registration ID. So copy that key, go to our scripts.blade.php, and let's say that this is our registration ID. What we have next? We have profile photo, and all we have called name and the email. So I'm going to remove this from here. We have now name, email and the phone number. This is how it is structured, name, email and the phone number. Next what we have called roll number. So again I'm going to copy and paste this, and let's say that this is all about roll. Copy here and pasting it here. This is about roll number. And finally I think that we have gender, okay, and status and the action buttons. So all we have done about these columns and the respective IDs. So if I copy this route, go to our web.php file. If I copy and paste, and firstly we need to replace about the named parameter. Inside that, let's say that list all students, and this is about list all students. So copy this method name, go to our controller, and let's say that public function, and this is our method name. Now we need to import our data table. So go to faculty controller as for the reference, and I'm going to copy this use db and use data tables. So copy here, go to our controller and pasting it here. Again go to faculty controller, and I'm going to copy all the codes. So I'm going to copy all the codes. So copy here, go to controller and pasting it here. Only we need to change about the queries. So what we have a table something called TBL students. So if I copy this table name, copy and pasting it here, this is our called students, or let's say student. We want all the columns from this student table. And also we want to make join with the gender table because we have stored a gender ID along with all the students. If you back to table structure, this is called gender ID. Now next we need to connect all this table, means our student table, with the genders table. So this is about gender, gender.id, and this is called student.gender ID. So if we scroll here, inside here we have called TBL faculty types. So no need about this faculty types. So if I save this file, and also we want that all the students should be active. So this is the query we have made, and all this query should be named with, let's say, students query. So copy this variable name, scroll here, and let's say that this is about students query. So inside here we have to remove this column because we don't have about the type, we have only the profile photo. So pasting it here, and also we have no data inside this profile photo. We will fix in our upcoming videos. Next we have gender. So this is about gender name. So we have gender also. So back to our scripts.blade.php. Inside this file we have one for the raw column called profile photo and one for the about the second table data called gender. So I think that we have done all the things inside this also. Only with the thing is that we need to replace with these action buttons. So let's say that this is all about students table ID, and this is for the edit button. So back to administrator panel, I'm going to inspect and reload this page. Once we reload and we got all the data without any error inside this list of students, only we need to change about two column names, something for the profile photo and the roll number. We are going to make it as simple. So go to HTML file, and let's say that this is about profile, and also this is all about roll. Save this file, refresh this page, and all the columns are now set. So finally guys, by the help of this video session, we understand and also we have fixed about the two tables called faculties and for the students. So if you have any doubt in this video session guys, then please drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day.